All right. So first, I wanted to thank you for joining me today. And could you introduce yourself and what your profession is?
Yes, well, I'm associate professor in Universitat Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona, and within a computer science department or technology department. But we have been studying also cognitive problems and problems of questions, and also we have some technical background like statistics and that's it. I mean, I teach because I'm a professor here, but at the same time I do research, which is most of my time. I spend most of my time doing research.
Okay. So what other type of classes do you teach?
Well, I teach boring stuff, but I teach compilers, which is like a very computer science based course, and then I also teach machine learning, which is like kind of data science or data mining class, which is very good. And I teach also in the masters. I teach music technology and machine learning or music technology and computers.
So what made you want to study computers and music?
Well, I studied computers as a academic. I did my PhD in computer science, but I also play the violin all my life. So then I wanted to combine both. So that's why I decided to do this research, which puts the two together.
Okay. Well, I have been playing the cello for 20 years.
Wow, you must be better than me.
I don't know. You have to practice, don't you?
Yeah.
So tell me about maybe a little more about your roots in music. What made you want to learn the violin?
Well, actually started with the guitar. It's not a very good. When I was a child, I started with the guitar, and then it was very difficult to read because, as you know, guitar you can put the same notes in different places, not like the piano that most of a note is one key. So then I'm not a good reader. I'm much more intuitive. Like I play now. I play by ear a lot of things, but at that time I was playing classical, and I was a bit frustrated with reading scores. So then I decided to try an easier instrument, which was violin, which is only one melodic line instead of like a polyphonic instrument like the guitar. And then I like the guitar. I always liked the violin. I played classical, and then it has a lot of applications to folk music. So I used to play all kind of folk music with the violin as well.
When you say folk music, what does folk music mean in Spain?
Well, actually, I live in Spain, but I'm actually Mexican.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah. So then I used to play Mexican music, which is full of violin.
Yes, mariachi.
Like mariachi is one, but there are plenty of other musics everywhere in Mexico and in different regions. And the violin plays a very important role in many of them. Like, well, I could tell you, but it is very, very nice instrument to play Mexican music. And I also played salsa, like Latin music, for a long time with a band. And there is a genre in which you play at least one violin. It's called charanga, and it has the typical salsa Cuban or Puerto Rican band. And then I play the violin in those bands as well.
You know, it's so funny because my mother is a Garcia, and my cousin, she plays mariachi music full time. She plays the violin. Yeah.
Incredible.
It's so funny. I had to travel to Spain to find someone else in my family. So, okay. Well, I want to ask you about the workshop because you're the chair of the workshop, correct?
That's right. Yes.
So tell me about why it was formed and how many years has it happened, or what do you expect from it?
Well, the idea of making this workshop happen is that the music therapy has been applied and it's something that has existed for a long time. So people, even centuries ago, people used to use music to heal some conditions. But the problem with music therapy so far, well, till recently, is that there is no quantitative research in the sense that most of the therapy is intuitive. We give, either you make people play, you make people listen to music, and then they get better or not. But the evaluation is very, very informal. You just say, do you feel better? And if they say, yeah, I feel better after the music therapy session, or the relatives say, he looks better now, he can do more things, he looks more relaxed, or whatever the condition is, it has been improved in that condition. But there is no like scientific based on how much the music therapy has an impact in patients. So the idea is not new, but not many people do it. We should try to do research and trying to quantify with numbers. I studied mathematics, so with numbers, how much the impact of the music therapy is in different cases. So I think this will have not. I mean, this is not just to verify that it has some impact, because intuitively we know it helps, but the idea is also to prove it scientifically. So it could be like more well received in national health systems, or it can be treated more seriously than some people may think it's like kind of entertainment, but it's more than entertainment.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I always joke and say that music is my boyfriend, because he never lets me down.
Your boyfriend must be jealous of music then.
Oh, well, I don't have a boyfriend right now, so
okay.
But I have always loved music, and especially old music on records, and different music from other countries. So it has always been my passion, and so I'm thanking you for helping me with my project, and I hope to maybe speak with you again in the future. So tell me, how many people are coming to the workshop? Do you know?
Not yet. Normally people tend to join later. Like, I mean, they register at the end. But so far we have 40 people, 40. So it's not bad for a workshop, because it is I mean, a workshop is smaller than a conference, and also it's only half the workshop, because we have been organizing another event which is happening in the afternoon and the next day, which is in the morning is more for researchers, more like academics, but in the afternoon and the next morning we are organizing somewhere else symposium, but it's more for anyone, for people that want to come, that they don't have to be researchers. It's for general public, and it is focused on using music therapy for cancer patients. So that's why we had to put this very tight schedule in the workshop in the morning.
Okay, I didn't realize that it was like 2 days,
2
or 3.
Yeah. The second one is only in Spanish. That's the problem.
So I saw on the schedule that there are several very targeted areas, like Alzheimer's and autism.
Yes.
And now you mentioned cancer. So I think just seeing that there are people who want to know the applications for very specific things is that, we're headed in the right direction in understanding that it is a therapy, What are your goals as a researcher with music therapy?
Well, my goals had to, because I have a technology background, is use technology to improve or complement music therapy. So typical music therapy sessions go with, they consist of someone playing the music and probably the patient singing or joining with, depending on the condition they have, they could be more active or less active, and also probably just passive listening, so people will just listen to music and then probably imagine some scene that accompanies the music and these kind of things. But the technology is very seldom used. And then my goal is twofold. One is to incorporate technology where appropriate, not always. I mean, if there is a chance for technology to improve the treatment, then to incorporate it. And if not, then nothing happens. But also, the second goal is the goal of the workshop, to try to formalize and to scientifically provide proof that the music therapy has a real effect in patients.
So I know that in science you can have a control group. Is it hard to have a control group?
Yeah. The problem always is that in order to make things statistically valid, you need a big population. If you have a control group, then you have to duplicate the number. You have to have the same, more or less, same number of people exposed to some treatment, and then the same amount, more or less, of people not exposed to the treatment to compare the differences. But of course, it is an issue. I mean, it's important to have a control group. The thing is, this is related to what I was saying before, that because sometimes music therapy hasn't been taken that seriously, it's not that easy to get grants, or it all comes again to money. We have resources, we can make larger experiments. If we don't have resources, I mean, it's impossible for one person or two people, I don't know, conduct an experiment of 200 people, because we would have to spend months and months. So it's a matter of funding. So this also, I hope that when in music therapies there are more evidence of the real benefits, or the quantitative benefits, then this will also open the door to get more grants, to do more research.
How long has music therapy been around as far as the academic research?
Well, I think a while. I mean, not quantitative, but for just to have an idea, here in Barcelona we have a master's in music therapy. People can study 2 years masters in music therapy, and this has been going on for 20 years.
Oh.
And this is, so it's a long time, but this is more the normal music therapy. I mean, there are musicians, and the classes consist of techniques in which they can involve the patients and so on, not really research masters. But I would say that in Europe, with Scandinavian countries, for example, they have been doing that for a long time. I would say like at least 50 years they have been doing academic research on music therapy.
So, are you the first professor there to incorporate the heavy technology aspect?
Probably, I'm not sure. I'm not aware of. Not the first one. Probably, I mean, one of the first ones. There is another group I know in Barcelona who works with music and how this can be used as therapy, and they also they use technology to provide music therapy as well.
And have you found maybe students that cross over from the just using techniques and want to know more how to quantitatively study?
Yes, I think now that, for example, in the master program that is done now in the university in music therapy, I am now the research coordinator. So there is a module which is based on research. So then the students learn about research results regarding music therapy, and also they will conduct some research in music therapy with more quantitative methods. So that the people that study music therapy starting to be more interested in the research of music therapy.
Cool. One thing I wanted to know is, are you going to have a show on the last day of your
Yes, not in the morning because it's very short, but in the Spanish-speaking symposium, yes, there will be a concert in the evening. So,
okay,
if you want to take a plane and come, then welcome to join us.
What kind of music will it be?
It will be music that they use to play to patients in doing this music therapy for cancer patients. So it is because it's conducted in Barcelona. It's Spanish level. Spanish music. It is, I don't know, you know the authors, but it's like popular Spanish music because they play the music that the patients would like to hear. So this is why they will play these songs and explain how they do it and what impact they see, what is the reaction to the songs, and so on.
Okay, well, that's interesting because I think the power of the mind is strong, and it could be possible that some of the patients might, if you say to them, "This will help you," it will, just by pure being open to the idea that it could. Some people that doesn't work, but I think the mind is very strong.
Yeah, sure.
That's exciting, though, that you have participation in something like that, and there are people who need help who are willing to come.
Yeah.
I think we can go on to your research now.
Okay.
So, is this the first major paper that you've written, or have you written hundreds?
I written a lot of them, but not on music therapy.
Oh.
I didn't send you the link to my webpage, but I've written quite a few, a lot of them. But at the beginning, we were more based in computer science. Then they were based more in brain-computer interfaces or cognitive studies. And now this is I've written a lot of papers related to music therapy, but this is the main, probably the most round and complete.
Okay. I was looking at, well, first, let's just go over the basic idea of this paper and your first, research in music therapy with the technology. So how many participants did you have, and what was their setup?
It was a small scale. It was just a pilot study. It's not a huge study. We started with 10 subjects, and then it was conducted over a series of weeks, and it was 2 sessions per week. And then the patients during the session, they had to listen to music, and at the same time using the brain waves, modify the music, how it sounded. Initially, we asked them what kind of music they wanted to listen to, or they normally listen to, and then we just collected these audio files, and then we just played them to them. But at the same time, we recorded or read their brain activity, and we use this brain activity to modify the sound of the pieces. And the idea was, well, the patients were all elderly people, and around 85 years old, and then they had to modify the music, and they had depression. So the treatment was trying to ameliorate or make better the depression state, and then they had to modify the music in a way in which the brain waves were more positive or less prone or less characteristic of depression.
I looked at the track listing for the patients or the subjects, and I saw that one of them had "Only You" by the Platters, and I love that. I guess I didn't expect to see an American song on their list.
Yeah.
Did that subject finish the study?
Let me see. I don't remember. I haven't seen which subject, which number is. I don't remember.
7.
Yeah, I think she did. Yeah, okay. They were all of them were women except one.
Yes, I read that.
Yeah.
Also, there was a lot of classical music on here.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I guess being younger, I didn't expect to see that much. Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Strauss, Handel, Mozart. And you said the subjects were 85. and older?
Around 85. It was, I don't remember exact figures, but it was around 80 to the lowest about 94 or something like that.
Wow. Yeah. And all of them had decent hearing?
Yeah, exactly. We selected them based in three conditions. One was that they had a depression condition, that they had good hearing, and then they were kind of sensitive to music. I mean, they listened to music when they were younger. So these three things, because of course we were treating depression, so we needed to check if the depression level was improved or not, and then they had to listen well to music. Some people in one range. I mean, they all listen more or less okay. There was one or two that we had to put the music a bit louder, but it was fine. I mean, we just, at the beginning of the session, we asked them, can you hear the music well? And then we just tune it to their hearing levels. And then, and so it was like that. So,
one thing that I wanted to know is the diagram on that shows where the emotive electrodes were placed on the head. Is that what that diagram is?
Exactly.
It's there's so many.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, it is like this is the picture is about the system called 2020. So it's a lot of positions everywhere, and then the picture there are some orange or colored electrodes because the mountain only has 14 electrodes. So then not all of them are used. It is a general system of positioning electrodes, but we use only the ones that Motiv provided. And actually, at the end, we use more the frontal cortex, prefrontal cortex electrodes because they are the most related to emotions.
Okay, that's one thing I wanted to briefly go over, since some of my viewers, we don't know which parts of the brain are controlling. So can you review that?
Yeah, well, regarding to emotion, the actual emotions do not happen in the cortex. The emotions are normally regulated and generated in the center of the brain, or more down below the brain, like in what is called the limbic system. So these parts are the most like basic instinctive the parts that control the more instinctive behavior of the human, and historically. Of course, the brain has grown from the center, like the immediate reptiles, and then gradually going upwards. And then the most high-level functions, like mathematical reasoning or logic and so on, are in the cortex. Of course, the idea would have been to be able to check the activity in the limbic system inside the brain, but we use EEG, electroencephalogram, which only can detect in the cortex, because there are electrodes that are placed in the scalp. So then we cannot access the information of activity in the center of the brain. So, but the prefrontal cortex modulates the emotion generated by the limbic system. So then this is the most relevant part for the study, that we are trying to understand emotions. And then, so then we focus the analysis on these electrodes placed in the prefrontal cortex.
Okay, so let's do a scenario. If I'm one of the subjects and I put my headphones on, I have my electrodes, everywhere.
Yeah.
And you play Only You by the Platters.
Yeah.
What happens if I feel happy? What is happening in my brain, and how is it traveling on the electrode?
Well, what we measure is the kind of the potential in an area in the cortex. So then we just measure how much voltage in that place the neurons in that area are generating. So it's difficult to say exactly what happens when you are happy or not, depending what happens there. But depressed people, or people prone to depression, have an imbalance of activity in the two lobes. Normally they have more activity in the right lobe compared to the left. So then what we're trying to do is to try to level up the activity in both of them. So we were like rewarding them when this activity was equal. Then we were rewarded, or even when the left side was higher, the activity was there was more activity. Then we were rewarding with sound that was what they had to do. And this is kind of positive, negative behavior or emotions. But then also we were trying to improve the arousal levels. You can be really relaxed, or you can be excited and aroused. And then this also can be measured not by asymmetries, but by filtering the signal at some frequencies. And then if these frequencies are, within these frequencies, the amplitude of these waves is high. To be exact, if, for example, you take from 8 hertz to 12 hertz, which is 8 times to 12 times per minute, that the signal goes like this, 8 to 12 times per second, and then if the amplitude is high, you are relaxed or inactive. So we can detect how aroused and how relaxed or how calm you are. And with this, we were trying to make the arousal level higher, to be more excited, and at the same time more positive, to try to make the person be more positive.
That's interesting, because you're saying that the right side of the brain, the people that are prone to depression, it's an imbalance, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
In the right side. But that's where creative people live.
Yeah, exactly. But it's true that the right side of the brain is normally associated with more negative feelings. So probably that's why most creative people are probably more prone to mood swings, or I don't know, like there are plenty of examples of artists that committed suicide and things like that. So it has something to do with that.
Well, I'm very interested, because I'm left-handed.
Really?
And I play music, and I have arts degrees. So I want to make sure I'm on track. So I want to go even further. When the signal is sent out to the electrode, it's actual electricity, or how does it know?
Yeah, it is electricity, but of course it's really millivolts or microvolts, so it's really tiny electricity. So then what happens, it goes in the headset, there's an amplifier. It travels a small amount of electricity, and then this is amplified and then sent wirelessly to the computer. So the computer receives this, and then already amplified, and it knows the amount of, or the voltage of that signal, and then this will be in a program in the computer, will be fed as input for the part that is playing the music, and it will transform the music to sound differently.
Wow! So they weren't turning any knobs or anything; it was all wireless.
Exactly. You have this, and you could just by thinking change the music you are listening.
Ooh, that's pretty cool. When you say that those the electricity that was being sent by the person's brain was manipulating the music, exactly. In what way did it manipulate the music?
Yeah, because it was audio. If we have other kind of, I don't know if there is some more symbolic type of format for music like MIDI, you can change a lot of things. But if you have audio, the two things we could change was volume to sound louder or softer, and then also tempo, if it sounded faster or slow. So in the arousal, the more aroused the person was, the volume was the higher volume. And the more positive the person was, the faster the track played. So then we asked them to try to play it faster and louder. And normally also we studied expressive. Another area of research we do here is how to study expressive music performance. What it makes a music to be have some expression, to have like a human expression, like to sound sad, happy, or so. So then normally, it's not a rule and it's not that straightforward. We apply some mathematical formulas, but in general, the louder and the faster, the happier the music it sounds, with some limits, of course. But then what we were trying to do is when the people were more aroused and felt more positive, the music sounded happier. So by manipulating tempo and loudness.
Okay. So do you think that we could eventually get to a point where we could apply a formula to our own music and manipulate it to be happier?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we can be done now. And what we do, for example, is to take someone that plays, we say play happy, and then he will play the violin or something happy, and then plays sad, and he will play differently. And then we apply mathematical models to try to see which are the characteristics of one and the other. That's exactly what we did. And then we can extrapolate. We know how it's sad, how it's happy, and we can extrapolate the points in between. So then with this, we can make any music sound more happy or more sad by manipulating with the computer.
I'm just thinking about, like self-medicating, which is how I use music always.
Yeah, exactly.
But you could even get to a point where it was some computer app, on your computer, and you're listening to something you normally listen to, but you just say, "Computer, make it happy,"
Yeah.
In the future.
That's the idea, because normally we do passive listening. You have a CD or whatever track, and you listen. It creates an emotion or some state in you. It has a lot of benefits. But then what we're trying to do here is do active listening. So you listen, but by listening, also because music generates some emotional state in you. This emotional state detected as your brainwaves will feedback to the computer and change the music, which in turn will again you listen to that music change or will change, and that will generate the next step. And it's like a feedback circuit. So by listening, you change your emotion change the music change again your emotion, and so forth. It's a loop.
So essentially, it seems like the goal would be to retrain your brain to feel happier.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's the idea, because it's not we didn't invent it. It's called this field is called neurofeedback. So then it's not used with music. It's normally with some visual feedback. But then the idea is that by doing this, trying to move a car or to move a line or do some feedback in the screen, you are retraining the brain, and rewiring. Probably not the appropriate rewiring your brain. And when the treatment ends, any changes you have done to your brain are permanent. So it has been shown that with depression, that if you are well depressed and you take pills for depression, you feel better. But as soon as you take the pills out of the routine, then again you go back to the initial state. With neurofeedback, if you do the training and then you improve, then you don't do any training anymore, and the changes are permanent, because actually what you did is rewire your brain. We are rewiring our brain all the time. 1 hour ago, my brain didn't look exactly the same as now, because it's always changing somehow. So you are trying to make changes that will improve your condition.
That's amazing, because it could help humans be less dependent on chemicals.
Exactly.
And a more natural way to feel better. But it's also very empowering to the human to say, I can do this by myself, or you're not essentially by yourself, because the musician makes the music, right?
Yeah.
But even the person making electronic music has to make the music. It's an ecosystem, but I think it's very exciting to know that you can heal yourself if you want to.
Exactly.
You have to be open to it, though. I think some people are not open. Who knows what the pharmaceutical industry would do? But as creative people, I think sometimes the feeling is, for me anyways, I don't want to take a chemical to feel better. I would rather go see art or listen to music or see a play or something to feel that way. But I think it makes sense in the way that they say for anyone, but especially older people, to keep their mind active, like with crossword puzzles and those type of things. But yeah, I think that's very exciting. And what is your next step with your research?
Well, we have been working in different conditions. We have been also working with autistic children, and then we have been working now with the cancer patients and also Parkinson. Parkinson is a very good a condition that is easily related to music because it has to do with movement. So normally music generates, at the same time music generates some kind of intention to move, because evolutionary probably we wanted to move in music. So we have been working on these areas, and we're still keeping. So the next step will be to do more research on autistic children, which have a lot of potential to help. We have done our work, probably speak about it another time, and then and with the Parkinson, and now we are doing this big scale, bigger scale study with cancer patients. We want to analyze and see what conclusions we can extract.
I think that's very, very cool. That you're applying these calculated things in your knowledge, but you are still a musician and feel, compelled to incorporate both of them. But I wanted to ask you, do you think that there is some type of magic that happens when a human plays music versus a machine?
Yes, I mean, there are a lot of studies, like all the benefits that people get from playing music is incredible. How many, it's like they say, like a wild part in the brain, because there are so many functions that are activated at the same time, like in memory, emotions, auditory parts, like motion, motor, the motor capabilities, the skills. There are so many things that are in play that is very difficult to have another activity that does that to your brain. I mean, it's like everywhere it's light up, and this has been proven in the past that has a lot of benefits. Like people that learn instruments when they are younger, they not only learn the instrument, but a lot of cognitive skills are improved. Like many of them, so it's a lot of things are easier for musicians than for non-musicians. So, and this is only taking account the kind of training that you do on your own. But then when you play in a band or in an ensemble, this again brings a lot of benefit, like social skills, social behavior, and have been proven that the quality of life of people that play music is much higher than people that don't in the same conditions. So when you compare equals to equals, the music always adds, and this is it's not a speculation. It has been proven, like kind of scientifically, that this is the case, that music brings so many benefits that it should be like almost like a compulsory subject to everyone.
Very cool, very cool. I'm trying to think if I have any other questions. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, I'm fine.
All right. Well, thank you, Rafael.
No, thank you, Anna. Okay. So talk to you soon. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.